Hey guys, we are back for the quali video today. It has not rained at all overnight, so I expect the track to get even drier, dustier, and probably even looser. It was already a little bit sketchy in places yesterday, so with no rain, more people riding down the hill, then it's probably going to be even more sketchy. We're going to go down the track, we're going to scope out the lines that have changed. There's a couple of like loamy sections which we're rutting out, and lines which we're actually getting started to bed in basically. So we're going to go down there. I'm going to show you what lines are going to be the lines for race lines, and we're going to talk to a few line coaches and maybe a few riders. A reminder that this series is completely self-funded at this stage. I have no brand backing, so if you're a brand that wants to get involved, please get in touch. And if you are just an individual that enjoys the channel, you can make a donation or buy one of my cool custom t-shirts by clicking the link down in the description. But anyway, guys, let's walk down this Lenzerheide track and I will show you all the sick lines the riders are going to be taking on Saturday. So as mentioned yesterday, no one is really taking that knuckle. It's jump in, corner, and straight onto the flat rhythm section. So as you can see here, there's only really one line that prevails. The high line just isn't being used. You can see there's no real tire tracks. It's basically through there, a bit high, go in and slam that. Riders are going to have to be careful at the entrance because it was actually quite slippery yesterday, but it seems like a rut developed, meaning it's really less sketchy than it was yesterday early morning. Nico, section here is kind of turned into a one-liner. What do riders need to be careful of here?
Yeah, I don't think any of the grass line is going to be working out. It's hard to rejoin the track, so everybody's on the main, but that main rut there is getting like 3 hooks in it. So like it's easy to get unsettled with those different pressure points. Saw a couple riders go press early and then cut out of the end of the rut closer to the pad, and it looked really good. And that's only going to get better once this rut gets worse. So it's just a game of inches, not lines.
So there's still 3 lines and look like the line spotters are kind of puzzling over it. You can go full inside there and hit that, but that obviously doesn't really open the corner much. You can go full outside and hit that, and obviously that opens it up better and sends you like with more speed into the next section. And there's also a middle one there which some people are doing, which stops you from actually going all the way out and opens the corner more. But yeah, like, so I think everyone's still puzzling counting times and stuff, but I'm not really sure what the actual race winning line will be. The flat section after really is where the time will be gained or lost. You can go inside or outside and then I guess like get on the pedal as hard as you possibly can here, because it's actually quite flat, rocky, so it's hard, not very fast. And there's also an inside line there which some riders are favoring. So as I mentioned yesterday, this section is only one rut. They basically go in, gap onto the roots, and then get in the rut. Comes in here, it's pretty, yeah, it's just one line, and then go and hit this rock at the back there, like so. And it sends them onto this flat section, so you don't want to get it wrong, or you might lose a lot of speed. So the riders are still getting in Mac dead in there. Shark fin, and it doesn't look like they're braking that hard. I see you can hear fin braking a little bit. They have to brake in order to get into that double because it's so kicky now, and this lip gives you so much speed. So it's a game of who will be able to brake the least and scrub that the best. I think Finn is a strong contender. Ollie, why are you here? There's got to be a purpose.
If I'm brutally honest, at this time of the day, on quali day, I'm actually here to see Joe come through. He's pretty locked into his lines now, but it's about this track, you need a lot of intensity. You know, you have to ride it with a high amount of speed, the times are tight. So it's as much just watching to see Joe come through on his 3rd run, see if he's got that pace that I think is going to get him through in qualifying.
So this sector, once again, very one line. Everyone just paints down the main. Gaps here onto there, and that basically gets you to the jump. The only thing you need to worry about is that not losing the front here. It is a pretty good rut, so I doubt that's going to happen, but yeah, there's a nice lovely pad here to crash into if you do. But yeah, they're probably going to, it's a pretty easy sector yet fast. So you can see here it's pretty one-lined. People are just getting in there and pinning it, trying to break for that corner that's here. It's not like a huge corner, so you actually have to be careful. It's also very hauled out now. It has changed a little bit. Got to be extra careful because at the end it's quite flat. That's where Jackson actually lost it last year. So have to be careful here, and it's hard to see on camera at the angle, but it's steep as fuck. And then there's a good chance you're going to miss your breaking point and end up somewhere on the photographer there or in one of the pads. So unlike last year, it seems like everyone is taking the high line. We're going to have a rudder coming here. Here you go, high line to the corner. So you get here, you're already a bit shaken from that long kind of steep chute, and it's really slippery here. So some of the riders are actually slipping out and almost hitting that tree. You can hit this kind of inside line there and gap into the chute, but most people are just going down there up and hitting the rock garden. You are saving time by hitting that because it's way cleaner and it sets you straight, but it is actually quite hard to get to because it's super slippery here. Whale tail onto those corners. There's an outside inside line, but it's really straightforward. So the last sketchy corner before the rock garden looked like it's blown to hell. There's almost 2 lines now. You can come in, there's an inside line, and then there's an outside line here, but then you really close that next corner. So I feel like the inside line there, well, this is a bit of a slow pass, but it's free to go. But will you be able to hold it? I'm not sure. That was nicer.
There is obviously quite some line change yesterday, and the track got really worn in proper places, but you can see that this corner, we got actually a full outside until now, but that outside has been pushed, and since yesterday evening you can see people starting to go on the inside, and you can see that the entrance is quite made, but the outside and the exit of it is not fully bed in, so people are struggling to actually get the proper exit speed without overshooting the braking, so that's tricky.
So this section may actually be decisive because it's really loose. There's a good chance of losing a lot of speed or losing the front wheel, as we saw Jordan do. Yeah, it's actually probably more important that most of the riders would give it credit for at the start of the week. How are you feeling about that rock garden, Mr. Wolf?
Man, it's absolutely atrocious. It's so bad. Like, that's a landing ramp if you gap in. Look at it, it's just a pile of rocks. And then if you don't, you have to go between a gap the width of my foot.
Get your foot in there. That is actually the size of your
I'm size 45. It's about, you know, people are like, oh, it's grand, you know, you fit your tire chair. It's like, well, what about your cranks and your pedals? And people are like pre-hopping slightly and getting their cranks over. You can see all the marks. So yeah, it's just such a high consequence section, and if you mess it up, you've got a massive rocky double step, which I would not want to go out the front door on that. So high consequence section, and it's pretty close to the end, so you've already done 2 minutes of racing. So here we go. World Junior. Oh my God, he did a double. That's the first time I've seen that with my eyes. That's insane. So he's landing into an actual drop. It's about 2.5 foot high drop, and you're turning with no rut.
So if you do survive the rock garden, to go through there and get onto the steps where I believe Jackson crashed yesterday and other people as well. The reason people are crashing here is that they're getting way too hot on there and basically hit the back wheel on this, and he sends them forward. Seems like it might be another key section that doesn't kind of look like a key section as well. Like it might decide the race depending on how well the riders navigate that. Just so nasty. Then it's just a question of hanging on for dear life on those bike park corners, and then onto the last finish jumps. Okay guys, so the track is basically loose, dusty. It's basically one line, like everything's cut in, and there's a couple choices at the top in this route section, but it's going to be very similar for everyone. I think the difference is going to be made on obviously how hard you can go, but also how little mistakes you make, because it's quite slippery, and I think some of the riders will definitely be taken out by some loose section of track. Anyways, enjoy the racing.